Hello everyone, welcome to today's segment. I'm Roger Murphy.
And I'm John Vong, owner of local SEO Search.
We're here today and Kayla is on photography today, so Kayla, welcome and thank you. Today we wanted to talk in this short segment to business owners that are in the home renovation industry. It could be construction, it could be additions, renovations, but we want to speak specifically to you business owners that are out there in that your business requires a number of new customers. Once you've got a job done, a project done, you're going to be looking for more business. You've got to, as they say, fill the funnel, keep activity going for your business. That's how business grows. So John and I, we want to talk about, I guess, some of the journeys that your customers go through before they find you. John, is that a fair thing to talk about?
Yeah, so there's this whole space is very large and encompasses a lot of different factors and a lot of tradespeople. So we're going to touch upon some major ones that you're as a homeowner you're probably going to be faced with throughout the life of home ownership, right? And I'll give you my one example. Sure. I just recently did a basement rental project, and this happened about 2.5 years ago. And the journey that I went through might be very similar to some of the other ones that some of your current clients are going through.
They're going to go through, yeah.
But you know, then there's the kitchen rentals, then there's the bathroom rentals, and if you're outdoors, you probably need some landscaping or decks. If you're in a condo, you're probably gonna want to possibly do some condo rentals and closing off a den or refinishing your kitchen. There's so many factors in terms of home rental.
And the truth is, it's such a large capital project and capital cost to improve the value of someone's home or business or property. They're going to take it seriously and they're going to check around. They're going to want to know about you, the business owner, and why they should do business with you. So here at Local SEO Search, we're going to talk about that today with you and go through some of the strategies that you probably use today and what are available to you. But talk about your journey, John, when it went through your basement renovation.
Yeah, so 2.5 years ago, first we had to come up with a budget. We decided to save for a couple months to take part in this basement rental. And before we started, we asked our friends to see if they've used any basement rental contractors before. So we got a couple references and we called them, and then we also did our due diligence online on Google and called around. And we also went to third-party sites, Trusted Pros and Homestars, and we also did Google searches to read the reviews and see which company showed up. And we also got a couple quotes. But before we did the quotes, we actually did a couple weeks of, I guess, soul searching and seeing what's out there, because the credibility of that business owner is very important, right?
That's what I was going to ask you in terms of the important. You as a consumer, we're going to choose somebody, and then you're going to trust them with a lot of your hard-earned money to improve your home. What was it that was important to you?
So a couple factors. So references was a huge factor. Reading reviews that were honest, not just 5-star all around, but real customers that maybe had challenges and they overcame those challenges, right? Third-party reviews, not the amount of reviews, but how long the company was in business, right? If they were insured and bonded, if they offered permits, like it's all legalized, right? And the photo gallery was very important. So not just the before and after photos, but the journey throughout the entire process, right? So in week 1 or before the start, it would be the planning aspect of it, right? And then the second part would be the journey of the demo, putting up the studs, putting up the lighting, electrical, plumbing. Like that whole journey was very important to us to see what we're going to be going through and giving us an outline of what's going to be done on a timely manner. Because you're going to have someone come into your home for a couple weeks and they're going to be there working on your house. You have to trust them,
Yeah.
and you have to give them access.
So you as a business owner, if you're sitting here today watching this, you're probably asking yourself, okay, I've got a business, I want to grow, I need to replace customers I've worked with before. I want customers like John that pay, that want good work done. But key things, just to reiterate a couple of things, insurance, make sure you've got proper insurance. That is a big deal with homeowners, because if you get injured on their property and you don't have the proper insurance, it's their house insurance and their liability that is at risk. So things like that, the photographs, a lot of, I get it that you're busy and sometimes you forget, but the idea of doing before, during, and after pictures of a lot of the projects, because as you say, going through, if you can see, okay, here's what it looked like, here's the demolition process, and a lot of homeowners, I know my wife's very keen on keeping it neat and tidy during the process. If it looks like a bomb went off and it's dust and mess everywhere, you could lose a potential customer because you're showing that you don't take care as you go along the way. So.
Yeah. So, and then of course the follow-up of references, right? So talking to actual business homeowners,
yes.
or reading or video testimonials, or whatever kind of reference checks that you can go through.
Yeah.
And then of course the price. Price was not as important as everything else,
yes.
right? Especially if someone does really good work and you've seen it and they stand behind their product,
yes.
right? And service, because if anything goes wrong, you give them a quick call, they're there. Right?
As just a little tip here also, as a business owner in this industry of home renovations and kitchens, bath, decks, whatever, customers are always going to say to you, what's your price? This is a little tip from two experts, and we've dealt with over 10,000 businesses over the years in search advertising. You do not want to talk money, you want to talk value. So just think about that, value of what you're bringing to the table. It could be the size of the crews, the experience you have, how you can fit them into a project, and you're timely. It could be better pricing and purchasing power. So many of these things. So what you want to do is speak to the value you bring to this project and what the homeowner or the business person, whoever is hiring you, what they're going to get by doing business with you.
Yeah, and that's more important, right? And also their reputation in the industry, right? And that goes a long way.
Sure.
If you see a lot of bad reviews on Better Business Bureau or unresolved situations or a lot of one-star reviews, would you want to deal with someone like that, right? And how do they approach that when you actually talk to them about it? But in terms of the search criteria, of course, references. I did my Google search and I checked out their website. They had to be modern. They had to look presentable with nice images, before after images, references. But also they had to speak to me as an expert, right? So if they had content or social media that was being updated, it showed that they were actually engaged with the consumer, right? So for me, I'm really into just making sure I choose the right kind of contractor, and me and my wife decided on this contractor, and he did a great job. So everything that we checked off in terms of the checklist, he fulfilled.
Great.
So, and yourself, was there any, say, kitchen projects or?
Yes, kitchen is a good example that I went through, and interesting fact, and it's still the same today, it's been this way for years. When people are shopping kitchens, they will actually, and I did it, you will reach out to 6 or 7 different businesses, different dealers are in this industry. It's such a big deal. And kitchens and baths are one of the probably two of the biggest lifts for anyone's property in terms of adding value to it. So you want to take it, and I took it very seriously, that, okay, we want quality, we want something that a professional is going to come in. So we did again, due diligence where I'm online, I'm looking for the befores and afters. I'm looking for, okay, I want to know if, and I'll take advice from the contractor also saying, okay, here's the project. If you were me, how would you approach this? Because I don't ever want to say I've got all the answers. I am the homeowner looking for that expert. So you as the business owner, bring something to the table to say, listen, I've had this situation before. My house is a particularly older one, so there's unique challenges with an older house. Things aren't square, things aren't particularly level. So how does a contractor, how do they deal with these older homes. I'm not saying they're historical, but the older ones, they settle, and there's always issues with that. So I did the online. We looked at magazines. We went to some showrooms, and if you talk about, or if you think of it, if I went to 6 or 7 different businesses, I didn't just go once and then deal with them. I check them out, and I go different places, and I may have gotten a flyer, and we'll talk about that in a little while in terms of how I even learned about these businesses. But it is true. You go around, you check things out, you check them out, you want to see it, you want to touch it, and then you get a real good sense of who you want to go with. At the end of the day, just like in our business, you want to, and I wanted to work with someone that I felt listened to me, and we had a good working relationship. There was a guy once, and I'll just say, who came in to give a quote, and I said, "Hey, by the way, do you do what I think it was shelving? It was do you do custom cabinetry?" And his attitude to me was like, "Well, of course, that's what I specialize in." And when he said it in such a way, I'm like, I don't think I want to. That doesn't sound like someone I can work with.
Yeah.
So very much like in our world here in our business today, when we help businesses all over Canada with their optimization, they got to find someone that they can work with. I was just the consumer ready to pay, and this one this one contractor put himself out of the competition with me because of the way he responded to a very valid question I felt. So.
Yeah, and there's a difference between being arrogant and confident,
Yes,
and being an expert, right? So here at Local SEO Search, we're very honest people, and we want to help. We try to give as much information as possible, and we want to guide you through the entire process. Right? So even though there's a lot of competition in your industry and our industry, you want to work with someone that you can trust, that will help you throughout the entire process, and someone that you really like and want to deal with end of the day. Because there's so many, business owners that we can work with, but we don't want to work with everyone out there, right? They have to have the same kind of values that we're going after, right?
And eventually, if you come on board with a client, or if you become our client here at Local SEO Search, we'll actually help you get to choose your ideal client. So John, a question for you. As a business in the construction, home renovation industry that are just looking at this video today, they have lots of choices of where they can advertise to try and drum up business. Talk to all of us in terms of some of the options that they have available to them.
I mean, again, I'm kind of biased. I love the online space because you're in control. So you can do searches in your own time, in your bedroom, or when you have free time throughout the day, on your break at work, and navigate on search and be in control and search yourself. Looking at websites, looking at images, gallery, etc. There's different third-party sites, Homestars, Kijiji. There's so many different sites out there, Yellow Pages, etc. But there's also other options such as home shows, local home shows, because you want to see who your vendors are locally that you may want to support.
Let's call these traditional media or traditional ways.
That's correct.
Okay.
But again, it's fairly expensive to get a booth, set it up, and spend an entire day out there talking to and engaging with prospects, right? Then there's also the local newspapers, community newspapers, that yes, it comes out either daily, weekly, monthly. You put a little ad in there in hopes that they will call you, right? Again, it's a one-time kind of deal unless you do it on a contract where there's multiple circulations. But the challenge is you may get a couple leads during that day of drop-off, but it would soon no longer exist after that.
Because the magazine is out in the recycling bin.
Exactly. Then there's also the home reno magazines that I get every week. And there's a bunch of different tradespeople in there. Again, if you're doing, if you're advertising in there, how many people are actually picking it up or recycling it? How many people are actually going to call you from it? The traditional means is people want to be in control, right? You're kind of pushing all these ads to you. And then the most direct way is, again, you can put flyers or direct mail or door hangers at the home. And see if that works,
Yeah.
right? Of course, there's other traditional means like Yellow Pages, there's radio, there's television. But again, these are all pushing ads at you. So the business, the consumer is not really in control.
And you know, one thing that should be mentioned again to business owners, if you think of it, all these traditional media and any of the media, what you're hoping to do is find somebody who's actively in the market for your product or service. And that's why, and traditionally, if you put flyers out, you'd have to put out 20,000 and you're hoping to get 0.5%
That's good.
coming back to you. So it's a real challenge. So whether you're doing radio, whether you're doing TV, or the flyers, the home shows, if you're doing traditional media, if you think of it, what you're really trying to do is put yourself in front of someone who's ready to buy. Those are the ultimate customers, and that's the space that John and I and the team at Local SEO Search, that's who we've always been helping our clients with. How do I get my message in front of somebody who is now in the market for a car, hardwood flooring, a deck for their house, renovation painting, whatever it is. So to put a flyer out and do 20,000 or 40,000 flyers, or to go into the local newspaper, so few people are actively looking for your product that given time. It's not a waste, but it is extremely expensive for very little return. So
yeah, the cost in terms of advertising, newspapers, you know, the reason they're closing, some of the major ones, are advertising is being moved and shifted.
Yes.
Consumers, like business owners, are moving their dollars in a more transparent way where they can track and monitor and get the best ROI. Because more and more people are in front of a computer or a tablet or a phone, and they're searching when they're in control and when they're ready to buy it, right? So search engine or social media, Facebook, Google Ads, etc. There's ways digitally to now get in front of those potential prospects as well. And the economies of scale, the return on investment, it's much more lucrative, and you're going to get way more bang for your buck. And you're getting people that are further along the buying cycle.
Sure.
Because someone that's engaged, typing in that keyword, looking for a basement renovation company, they're probably looking, you know, within a couple weeks commitment versus someone that might have seen you at a trade show that might be planning on doing a rental project in 3 or 6 months or even next year based on the budget, right?
Waiting for tax returns to come back and whatever it is, we'll do something when the money comes in.
Exactly. So you get much more value having a website that is fully optimized, ranking on Google, so that when people are ready to buy, they can find you and easily access you via telephone or email.
As a business owner, you need to understand too, there's two subsets of buyers that are in the marketplace today. There's a group that know you already, we'll talk to that, but the group we're really trying to help speak to today and help you, if you want to grow your business, it's new people in an area, people that have an emergency. It's certainly in your world, it could have been a situation where they've got a wedding coming up, or they need some big renovation because there's a family event and they want to have the house ready to go. So these people are active and they're going to be searching for you. There's people that are looking for pricing and quotes. All of them go to the internet today because they're in control and they can gather this information at their leisure.
Yeah, so if you are a business owner that is in this space, feel free to give us a call. We can guide you through the entire process and help you generate more leads digitally from your website by getting you ranked on that first page of Google, and you would be getting good ideal customers that will pay, that are in search for your business.
Yes.
So give us a call here at Local SEO Search at 416-888-8756, and myself or Roger will personally pick up your call and speak to you and provide a custom campaign for your business.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Roger.
Have a good day.